Questions?
Eli, when we talked to Coach Narduzzi on Monday, he said on Sunday's practice you guys had 10 explosive plays, no turnovers. What worked well that day, and did you carry it over these past 2 days?
Absolutely. Obviously, defense is going to make adjustments, so they're going to take away those explosives. But we've been doing a great job of finding different ways to make those explosives. They're trying their best to force turnovers. That's what our defense does, but we're doing a really good job in the QB room. Ball carriers are taking care of the ball. It's a big critical. It's a winning point that Deuce talks about a lot, so we make that a big emphasis on the offensive side of the ball. Don't want to say exactly what we're doing because we might get it out there. People might figure out what we're doing to create explosives, but guys are just in the right spot. QBs are making the right decision. O-line's doing their job. Really just boils down to everybody's doing their job, doing it the right way, and that's why we're able to be successful.
Coach said that Zion Fowler L had 3 of those explosive plays. What have you been seeing from him, not just on that day, but in camp in general?
I've seen a huge growth and maturity in Zion. He's a guy that has a lot of talent. He can jump up, catch any ball he wants to. He's fast. He can stop on a dime, make a cut, run any route he needs to. Now he has that motor, that want to. I feel like because he understands that he's got the things he has to do to get on the field. And he has an opportunity to get on the field this year, and he realizes that. So right now he's going full speed every rep, which is huge. He might not be doing the right thing every time, but that's what practice is for. That's what camp's for. Make sure he's getting the coaching that he needs to. But he's gone out there running full speed, doing exactly what we ask of him when he needs to, and he's just in the right spot, which is a huge part.
What have been your impressions of that room overall with the receivers? It seems like there is a large number of guys capable of bringing down balls and making those explosive plays for you.
Absolutely. This year we got depth at that position, and we got a lot of guys that once the ball's in their hand, they can make a lot of explosive plays. We got explosive receivers, I guess you could say. Blue is a guy that's going to get open. He's fast, loves to jump up, make a play, but he'll do anything for his team. He's making blocks on screens, run plays that are turning screens and runs that could be 2 to 3 yard gains into 20, 30 yard gains because of a block that he's making. Deuce is a guy that when he's in the right spot, he's coming across the field fast, going down the field fast, just a big guy. He looks like a horse, running down the field. Just being able to get a guy like that the ball. Kenny's doing what Kenny does. He's a great receiver that you need in the backside. Single receiver, gets open, blocks, big body receiver, doesn't drop the ball, does exactly what you ask of him. Pop's a guy that gets open. Great route runner. Might not be the biggest guy, but he's always open, as he likes to say. Just having guys that complement each other. We don't have a lot of guys that are exactly the same, but we got a bunch of guys that do different things, at a high level. And we're able to. Coach Bell's able to scheme that up with different guys. Certain guys being in there running certain routes, and we're able to go out there and execute against a really, really good defense that we have.
Yeah, everyone knows about Desmond Reed at running back, but who else kind of sticks out in that room, and who do you think can help you guys this year?
Joel's Goff is going to have a great year for us this year. He was a true freshman last year. Got to grow up a little bit in the offense, got his first taste of college football, and realized exactly what he needs to do to stay on the field, get on the field a little bit more. I like to joke with him a lot more. He's kind of yoked up a little bit. He looks strong. He looks big. He's a guy that's going to help us out. Honestly, all the running backs that we got right now, when they're healthy and when they're out there, they can, do the right things for this offense. We got a lot of running backs that are predicated towards this offense. We got some big running backs, Caleb Williams, Juice. He's going to help us out a lot. Just being a bigger running back. When Boosie's healthy, he's a explosive running back. He's going to make a big play, make a cut, and get out there when we need to. Justin Cook came in. He actually came in as a receiver, walked on as a receiver for us. But we were low on running backs during spring, and now we've Coach Bell and all the offense coaches kind of molded him into a running back, and he's looking really good back there. Making a bunch of cuts, making a bunch of plays. So it's a lot of fun to watch.
What have been your early impressions about this new O-line? We see Keith, Kendall, and Jeff all kind of fighting for those last 2 spots.
I'm staying up a lot more. Coach Dews isn't calling the, blowing the whistle, saying sack every now and then. I'm staying up, staying clean. We're able to throw the ball down the field we want to, but those guys, they're all fighting for that spot right now. Everybody's, really, motivated and realize that, there's only 2 spots out there. They're doing exactly what they need to get on the field. I expect, all those guys to play, honestly. I feel like all those guys are going to go on the field, and we're not going to miss a beat with whoever's out there on the field. I'm clean, protected, and those guys are fighting for me, fighting for this offense, fighting for that O-line.
Does it allow you to feel a little bit more confident knowing that the depth goes beyond just the first 5?
Absolutely. I mean, you feel confident at any position when there's depth. I mean, we got depth at every position on the field, on defense, offense, and everything like that. I think that's what separates this team from last year's team is we got guys that can sub in, sub out, be able to play for us whenever we call them.
Coach Narduzzi told us about everyone's going to know. I don't know if slogan is the right word for it, but something that the leadership council decided on, kind of as maybe an unofficial motto or something for you guys in 2025. Just what can you tell us about that? Where that comes from, and just what that's rooted in, that phrase?
Everybody's going to know that Pitt's here to stay. Pitt's here to be a great program that they have been in the past. 3-9 year was a fluke. Going 7-0. That's everybody know. We want everybody to know that's what we do. That's the standard here. Some things happen where I ended up the season 0-6, but that's the standard now. Everybody's going to know that Pitt's going to be a powerhouse in the ACC. Fighting for an ACC championship. Fighting for a college football playoff spot. Everybody's going to know that Pitt's putting guys in the NFL. NFL Hall of Famers now. I saw a list came out that I think Pitt's tied for like 3rd or 4th for most Hall of Famers, and we still have to put Larry Fitzgerald, Aaron Donald, and Shady McCoy probably in there. I mean, at some point we're going to be number 1. Everybody's going to know that Pitt is one of the perennial powerhouses in college football, and that's the motto this year. Everybody's going to know that we're here to play, we're here to dominate, and we're here to win.
You said you're staying upright a little bit more, but who on that defensive line that's maybe kind of catching your eye, making some plays?
Jimmy Scott's making a lot of plays. Just carrying over from what he did last year. Sean Fitzsimmons and Nick James, big guys in the middle. Honestly, everybody's doing a great job. Francis, Ghost, Brett Mann, Jasir Whittington, he's doing a really good job. The guys that came in, J-Mo, Blaine, Joey, everybody's, coming in. It's as an offense and as an O-line, I'm sure it sucks when there's 4 guys in there, and we sub and 4 new guys come in. They don't miss a beat. We have that depth at D-line where everybody's going to be able to come in and play and just dominate, fresh and just being able to roll.
What have you seen in Braylon Lovelace's confidence on that Mike position when you're facing off against him?
He's got a lot of confidence. Braylon's my guy. We've kind of grown a relationship over these past 2 years, hanging out a lot off the field. I love Braylon at that Mike position. He adds a different element of athleticism and just being able to cut and cover guys out of the backfield and everything like that. But he's also come to lay the hat. He's not shy of contact. He wants to make the big play, do the right thing, and he's going to make a lot of explosive plays like we saw against Syracuse. That's not just a one-time thing. Braylon's going to do that, game in and game out. And we got other linebackers that are going to do the same thing with Kyle, Heem. Jeremiah Marshall's going to do the same thing. Jade Bonsu, I expect great things out of him. Again, we're deep everywhere, and that's a big difference from where we were last year.
How cool was it I think you were up at Oakmont for U.S. Open Week. How cool was it seeing that?
It was awesome. That was my first time ever, going to a golf outing, golf tournament, anything like that. I finally started golfing about 2 months ago. It was my first time I ever played. Kind of getting into the swing of that, working on it. Kind of sucks right now. We can't really play, but the QB room we went in and you ever heard of bucket golf? It's like a little you can find it on Amazon. You basically play with like wiffle ball, like a pickleball thing or whatever. You got like a little chipping thing. There's a expandable bucket. You make it in. It's minus a stroke. You hit it. It counts as a stroke. So we're every off day or day we get time. We're out there making a golf course. Par 3, par 5, par 4. Just having fun, doing something like that. I shot a 6 under yesterday and I still lost, which is incredible.
Who won?
But, it's something to do, something fun, something to get my mind off of football. But, Oakmont was a great opportunity. It was the first time I've ever been sunburnt and soaked at the same time, which was kind of annoying. But wish I got to stay for that last putt. But it started storming. We didn't know how long the rain delay was going to be, so we went ahead and got out of there and watched it on TV. But I really enjoyed it.
Who won? Like you said, you shot 6 under and lost.
Out of the QBs, I want to say Bo Jackson won.
Nice.
Out of that. We've had 3 different winners. I think Cole won the first day, David won the second one, and I think Bo won this past one.
Eli, thank you.